The Wyatt Sicks have officially had their first match in WWE, coming out tonight to the new theme song for them, Shatter. Love that theme song and love hearing it again. Now, the Wyatt Sicks were successful tonight, but I think there's a lot we can take away from this match for stuff we may have learned about the Wyatt Sicks tonight. Now, the first thing to mention is the utilization of the cult leader Bray Wyatt rocking chair. Of course, it was there on the entranceway with the lantern already on it. And of course, it was Uncle Howdy who picked up the lantern, not Nikki Cross. We've seen Nikki with a lantern a few times. But tonight, Nikki was more sort of subservient to Uncle Howdy. Look at the demeanor here. Her just sat right in front of Uncle Howdy as he sat on Bray's rocking chair. The theme song would cut out as Uncle Howdy blew out the lantern, and when the lights come back on, obviously the members had unmasked and the three members in the match went rushing into the ring. Note how Erick, Rowan and Joe Gacy's masks are thrown to one side, but Erick Rowan's is turned around, revealing the mask of Luke Harper. Brody Lee paying tribute subtly there to the late Luke Harper. Erick Rowan would also pay tribute to Luke Harper during the match itself, making us all aware 100% that Erick Rowan and the Wyatt Sicks are not just paying tribute to Bray, they're paying tribute to Brody Lee, Luke Harper as well. Dexter Lumis seemed to be like the workhorse of the group. He sort of really did a lot of technical moves in the ring tonight. He was also the one that picked up the victory. I don't know if this is significant at all, but I thought it was kind of significant. A big stage, Wyatt Sicks' first match, and Dexter Lumis is the one chosen to get the pinfall. I thought that was a pretty big statement to make. There was also the element, obviously he's playing Mercy the Buzzard, so it does make sense he can fly, that he was the daredevil of the group, because he did show no regard for his body. He was jumping from the top rope, just landing on, like the dude went for a leg drop to the outside to a standing up opponents. You don't see that, like double axe handle or crossbody maybe, but a leg drop? We would also see the double Uranagi utilised again by Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis. We saw them do this last week on Raw. We saw it again tonight, but this time they both individually hit a Uranagi at the same time. So that does seem to be, obviously we know it's a Bray Wyatt tribute, but that does seem to be a maneuver that they're going to use going forward. And again, it looks like from the double team maneuvers they used tonight that Gacy and Lumis will be a tag team within the Wyatt Sicks moving forward. Something unique for Joe Gacy tonight was the makeup on his face. He's been made to look a little bit more paler. The other members didn't seem to have this, so I wonder why Joe Gacy has that. But also this spot when he went upside down, man, that was incredible. We have seen Joe Gacy do this before in NXT, but it does make me question if Joe Gacy's final burst in NXT was actually a hint at the Wyatt Sicks and potentially his role. If you remember, his entrance actually turned the camera the other way round and he'd come out with the world upside down. Something we've never really seen in wrestling before. So maybe when Joe Gacy was still in NXT, potentially they were hinting at him being in the Wyatt Sicks. We also got the Joe Gacy interview VHS tape profile, as Michael Cole called it tonight. And this was interesting. We pretty much called a lot of this last night. We kind of had the idea that it had like a Mick Foley vibe with him rocking backwards and forwards, cross-legged. It did have that. And then there was this moment right at the end as Joe Gacy would turn around and Joe Gacy would scream, "Let us in." And with Uncle Howdy's inclusion tonight, talking about Joe Gacy opening his heart to the man in the woods, that's practically letting him in. For anyone that isn't familiar with the lore of the Bray Wyatt story, Bray Wyatt did a series that WWE did. They did it with multiple stars, but he was one of the episodes called Superstar Ghost Stories. And on this, it's still on WWE's YouTube channel, so you can still search it and find it. Bray Wyatt describes the Fiend years before we ever see the Fiend, but he named him the Man in the Woods. With Bray mentioning the Fiend years prior, talking about the fact he was the Fiend. He was the Man in the Woods, was the exact quote from Bray in this. Now we know that Joe Gacy has opened his heart to the Man in the Woods. Does that mean potentially that Joe Gacy could be the Fiend. And to clarify, I'm not talking about next week or the week after, next month or even next year. The fact that he is portraying Huskus the Pig Boy, which is the very early prototype of Bray Wyatt. It's the character that Bray didn't like. It has to evolve to become better. Is Joe Gacy going to go that same route? Maybe not the Fiend. Okay, maybe not the Fiend. But one day, is Joe Gacy going to become something new? Is Joe Gacy going to have his Fiend moment? That's something to maybe keep an eye open on. There was some interesting commentary during this. Obviously, prior to the Joe Gacy VHS tape, Michael Cole would say the man who thinks he's Huskus the Pig Boy. And during the match itself, he would talk about Dexter Lumis thinking that he's Mercy the Buzzard. Really the first time they've named these people as the puppets. Now, Nikki Cross wasn't involved in this match, so it's probably a very hard thing to ascertain from this match alone. But there was the time last week when Michael Cole did call Nikki Cross Sister Abigail. Now, he said that on the live broadcast. And then on WWE Digital, when they posted it on social media platforms, YouTube, etc., they edited out him saying it. They edited out Michael Cole calling Nikki Sister Abigail. Now, this does raise the question, is Abby the Witch, which is the puppet that Nikki is portraying, could Abby the Witch and Sister Abigail still be two separate things? Last week, we saw Dakota Kai in a promo, and behind her, the Pluto symbol. Now, we did wonder if, Nikki was going to get involved in Dakota Kai's match. Now, Dakota didn't actually make her match tonight, so maybe there's still a chance that she is a target for the Wyatt Sicks members, potentially in the future. But tonight it didn't happen. So maybe the Pluto symbol's just like an Easter egg and not an indication of what's going to happen. We'll have to see in next week or the week after if Dakota's going to be a target of Nikki. And just look at this moment, though, from the end of Monday Night Raw. Shout out to Lorenzo from my Discord server for sending this over to me. This is them at the end of Raw, hugging, pointing to the sky, not acknowledging Roman Reigns, but pointing up to the heavens for Bray, for Luke Harper. Genuinely very class moment. Seeing them have a group hug. Seeing how much it means to the members of the Wyatt Sicks to be in this position. Absolutely incredible. I absolutely loved every single second of the main event tonight. From the entrance to the end. All the little Easter eggs. Pure perfection. I had goosebumps throughout it. And as a Firefly, and a long-time Firefly, it's great to see. Also, massive shout out and props to the new American Maid. Their selling tonight was incredible. Chad Gable's facial expressions was on another level. This was exactly what the Wyatt Sicks needed to establish their foot in the door in WWE. And also props to Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. The commentary team really put them over tonight. Just a nice little touch at the end by saying how proud Bray Wyatt would be watching this. I really do think the Wyatt Sicks has changed WWE, in the words of Michael Cole. And I think WWE is richer and better for it. But go ahead and let me know all your thoughts in the comments section down below. Don't forget to hit the like button on the video, share the video. And if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I'll catch you next time. Peace!